Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we are talking about few minutes, but for the sake of recording, we say again hello now after so many weeks since we don't see each other. So Jai Shri Mataji, Luis,
Jai Shri Mataji, Daniel. Jai
and
Shri Mataji.
hello to the people who probably will see us if we decided to put that on our website. So Luis, you've been a little bit sick lately.
Yes, I had an accident, a gardening accident. Some dirt came into my eye. It got very infected, and so I've not been able to read, for a while. But now I'm taking antibiotic, and the eye is okay now, so I can start reading again. So that was a very serious eye infection from a
Uh,
gardening accident.
the gardening
And
is a very dangerous activity. So
yes, it is. It is. So, and I wanted to talk to you about your book, and I've not been able to read it because of my eyesight. Okay. So I only read a little bit, and I was so fascinated from the beginning of the book, what I read. You were telling us about the story of the creation of Sri Ganesha. Then you also tell the meaning of Sumukha. What's the meaning of the mantra Sumukha? The meaning of the mantra Ekadanta. And then I look at the index, and the index of the book is so fascinating, so many items of great interest. So I cannot say much about the book. I only read the beginning, but you can say a lot. So I wanted to hear you say something about some of the topics in the book, whatever topics you choose to talk about.
you are very kind. Like I said, I don't expect to make a podcast about that, and I'm completely unprepared. Although last time when we change a text preparing that meeting, I mean just fixing the dates. You told me that you want me to talk about that, but I don't uh, take it too seriously. And again, I'm not prepared. In the meantime, I show you some printing I've done just for me. So I start with this one, which of course there are in-house one. The 12 names of Sri Ganesha, which was the trigger for that essay. I still call it essay, not a book. And I have another one, a little bit more autobiographical. Um, so I have many names for this is a essay. The one I sent it to you was in the name of the sun, because
Yes.
I was thinking about Sri Ganesha, and after that, I was going further with Sri Kartikeya. We both are the son of the goddess, and also um, it's about the name of the sun. So there are many little way to play with those words with this title, and finally we ourselves are the son of the children of the goddess. So in a way, it's a nice. I believe for me, it's a nice play of words about this title. So in the name of the sun, I put my print on that one because, for example, here it's a little bit more autobiographical. So I'm talking about also about my name, about Daniel, which uh, I knew for a long time the meaning of the original name, the Jewish name, Daniel. Everything finishing with L, uh,
That's good.
it's uh, it's a name of God.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Many people knows, but also there are few who doesn't. So I have to explain that. Much later, I find about my family name a very important thing, because Boston or Boston, if you pronounce it originally Boston, you straight away, if you are a little bit familiar with Eastern geography, you will go to Middle East, and you will find a lot of countries which finishing the name of those countries finishing with Stan.
Yes, yes, very
There
true.
are, I don't know, I don't count them. There are 7, 8 countries there, starting with very known one like Afghanistan to
Yes.
Kyrgyzstan and Turkestan,
Yes.
and a lot of others, other countries. The words come from Persian, which means garden, and with some extent. So all these countries, as dry as they are, they consider themselves gardens because
Yes.
they like to put a name, a nice name to their places. So different different gardens. I have to be honest, I don't know all of them, what the meaning of but in Persia, in actual Iran, there are a lot of places called not only with the ending stan, but with the full name Bostan. And I was stunned because my father family come from the eastern part of Romania, which now is Republic of Moldova. We the official names, the old names is Basarabia, um, and the name is very common there. How the name become very common in Basarabia is still a mystery, because for a lot of time, I believe my father come from the south of Basarabia, where there are a lot of Turkish related people who comes about 400-600 years ago there, when the region was occupied by the Turks. So those guys called Gagauts, that's the name of these people, and have a pocket in the Basarabia. It's a city, and around the city, it's a little region called Gagautia. And I believe from them, but after that, I find that my father come from, not from the region, from that region, and the name of Bostan is spread in the whole country, whole Moldova. And plus the meaning in Romania is completely different. I mean, not completely, but from the garden become uh, a fruit, a kind of between. I'm not sure about the name in English. It's more like a pumpkin between, but you can call a melon bostan, or yeah, or a kind of pumpkin. And the name of the fruits come from the garden where you grow this stuff, which obviously have to be sand soil, because those the melon grows better in this kind of area. So
But
the
I,
the
I
guy,
remember,
yes,
sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember, I remember mother explaining that the pumpkin is the fruit of the guru. You know, have you seen the paintings of the guru in India? He always has a little pumpkin, which is a kind of water vessel. In that pumpkin, they dry the pumpkin and they hollow it, and it becomes a water vessel to contain the water. And the guru is the water element, and he always carries that pumpkin. If
Wow.
you see. the paintings of Sri Adiguru in India,
Yes, yes.
he has a little pumpkin attached to a little string on the. That's water. That's a water container.
Yeah, very, very interesting. First of all, I didn't know about Srimataji's explanation, which is quite interesting. So I will search for, and now I remember pictures with the guru with a
Yes, a
specific
pumpkin, little
this,
pumpkin.
but this pumpkin, it's a special one because there are one with only one body, but there are different
Yes,
one with two bodies, two
yes, yes.
two round body, which those in Romania have a different name, but the family is the same,
The same
obvious.
family.
The
And
same
then mother,
family.
mother also said that
Wow,
it's a very auspicious plant to eat for the Nabi. You see,
wow.
so for your Nabi, for your void, this is a very good food to eat pumpkins.
Yeah. In New Zealand, it's very popular, the pumpkin soup. In Australia as well, maybe in Russia. But to be honest, it's not my favorite. I have to put a lot of um cream to be able to eat it. So it's more cream with pumpkin for me.
But
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 yes, sorry.
in Indian cookery, they eat a type of a green pumpkin. And I remember Sri Mataji was eating that pumpkin almost every day. But
Wow.
this is a special green pumpkin.
Okay.
It's flat. It's a bit like much bigger than a cucumber, but it's green. And I forgot the name. There's an Indian name for that plant,
Okay.
which is very common in Indian cooking. That plant is like a king of I mean, like the Indian people use it a lot in
Yeah.
their food.
To be honest, yeah, I have no idea about this information and bring a new light on the subject, which I'm obviously very pleased, and thank you for that. Um, but speaking about eating pumpkin, melon, I like it very much, and my son, it's also one of his favorite fruits. Mine, it's also one of the favorite fruits along with the grapes. So I love very much
I
the
love grapes,
grapes.
yes.
The other fruits are far, far away. I mean, the apple and the pear, not very, not even close to those one. But when it's come to pumpkin, the only way we eat it with great pleasure, it's a dessert because you can make
Yes, yes.
a very good
Yes.
dessert in two ways. One is very simple. Put sugar, you cut it in pieces, and you just put sugar on and put it in the oven, which is uh, uh, the simplest way to prepare it and to eat it after that. And the sugar will melt it. It's very good. The other way, it's a little bit more complicated. You take out the yellow stuff, obviously, and you mix it and make a pie between pastry. And also, I love it very much. Otherwise, I not very. I don't eat with big pleasure any other. Maybe there are
But
ways because you said in
yes,
India, but
in India,
I don't know
they
them.
eat it a lot. Yes, in the curries, they use a certain green pumpkin. And I
Okay.
noticed in mother's home, mother was eating that green pumpkin all the time, you know. All the time she was eating it. You
Wow.
can get it in England, although it comes from India, but you can buy it in England.
Yeah.
And she was using that a lot. And
Wow.
the doctors will tell you that the pumpkin seeds are also very healthy things. It's good to
Yes,
have pumpkin seeds.
we eat that those the seeds, the stones, or how you
Seeds.
call. Yes, the
They are
seeds.
very healthy, yes. They are
Yes.
very healthy things.
You can burn it a little bit and
Yeah, toast it. Yeah.
toast it much better. Yes, it's true. Wow. Um, Looks like yeah, I get a lot of information. Which the one with the water pot of the guru.
True,
It's
yes.
you blow me up. I mean, yeah, I love it. So never think about that. I knew the pictures, but I thought it's a brass or some made up uh,
No, no, genuine. It's
container.
because in Portugal, in the past, people
Yes, we
used
use
to
it
have
too. All
for
the
water container to take
all
when
the
you go out.
traditional. Yes,
You take that, that's your bottle of water. Nowadays
yeah,
it's a plastic bottle, but in the olden days,
yeah,
people used it to take their water when they go out,
yeah,
for the day. Now it's plastic, but it used to be
yeah.
made from a pumpkin.
And the shape, it's
The
exactly,
same.
or
Exactly that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola try to make
Yes,
the
yes.
bottle friendly handle. Yes,
The reason we have that in Portugal a lot is because Portugal used to be part of the Muslim Empire.
yep,
The Muslims, the Islam, the people knew that because they are close to India. So India
yep,
was also part of the Islamic Empire at one time, and so it arrived in Portugal. I believe it's the Muslims that brought that type of pumpkin as a water container because they
yep,
need to carry water in hot countries. When you go out, you need to carry some water.
absolutely.
So the pumpkin is the earliest plastic bottle invented.
Yeah, you will laugh, but that's another um, similitude between our country because Portugal was part of the uh, Arabic
Islamic, yes.
Islamic conquer of the Iberic Peninsula. My impression was that Portugal wasn't too much under the influence of Arabs as the other part of mid and south or southwest of Spain. My impression that the mountain who border Portugal with and Spain stop a little bit the Arabic influence. It's not like in Andalusia and in like,
True. You see
but
what happened?
still,
When
probably,
the Muslims invaded the whole peninsula, Portugal, what is nowadays Portugal and Spain, they all became part of the Islamic Empire. But
okay.
the Portuguese people, well, the early Portuguese people were Christians, and they kicked the Arabs out of there a bit earlier than the Spanish, and then the
Ah,
Spanish took them a little longer, a few
yes.
extra more than extra hundreds of years it took them to get rid of all the
So when
Arabic
you kick,
influence.
when you kick the Arab out,
We finished kicking them out by the 12th century
ah,
with
that's it.
with a
Yes,
little
I
with a little help from the English Crusaders. You see, during the Crusades, they
yeah,
came and gave us a little help, and we got rid of them. Why
yes,
you got rid of them? We got rid of them because they broke the pact. They were not treating the Christians with equality. They were giving a second-rate status to the Christians.
yes,
So the Christians
yeah,
were upset. They were being treated like second class. So the Christians had a revolt and got rid of the Arabs. There they go. So they were thrown out of the country. And then gradually Spain did the same. In those days, it was not called Spain, but those little countries that are in what is now Spain, they also managed to get rid of all the Arabs bit by bit.
yeah.
It
But
took a
they
long
take
time.
long because probably the stronghold of the Arabs was much stronger in Spain. I don't know if was the same in Portugal,
Yes.
but they took long because the the principate or the kingdom of the Spain wasn't united, so they took
True.
a lot of time
Longer, yes.
to come
Enough.
together, and only then they were able to, because in the meantime, for a few hundred years, the Arabs managed to establish themselves very strong there. And what you told about the Christian as a second class citizen, not only Christian, but the Jewish as well. Uh,
Yes, yes, also yes.
Everybody who are not Muslims, they are treated the same. They said you should thank you, you should thank us, sorry, we not kill you. So
Yes,
we let
but
you, first of all, live, do your, not forcing you to change religion, but you have to do two things. First of all, be humble in your religion. Don't make it visible. Don't rise the church higher than the mosque. Don't build more churches. Don't do proselytism, and pay a special tax for that because we let you live.
yes,
So in a way, was much better than the crusaders who go
they
to
kill everybody. They
yes,
killed everybody.
kill everybody. That's remember me a very interesting thing. A crusade in south of France. You know the Albigensians. The
Yes,
yeah, and you
they
know the
were
story with the.
exterminated. They were, yes, they were exterminated. Those.
But it's a very interesting story with the Pope legate uh, who come with the army. They come together, and the army do their job, and the Pope representative stay there looking. They took a while until they managed to conquer the last stronghold, which was a big city. And the leader of the army, after conquer the city, come to the Pope representative and ask him, Your Highness, we don't know what to do with the population, which were few tens of thousands, because everybody goes there, because not all of them are Catars, because that was the point, to kill all the Catars, to finish once and for all. That's happened probably 1303 or 1307, something like that was the last one. They tried many times for 100 years. They tried to do that since 1200 till 1300. Anyway, so they want to kill everybody, but they have a strong support for the population. Not everybody was Qatar, but everybody was sided with them, including the top noble people. And the Pope said, okay, kill everybody. When they will go to God, God will know which one is which, and we will make the separation. Kill everybody.
To kill in the name of God,
Yes.
it's a great sin, of course. I mean,
And
very
that's a
silly.
true story. That's a
That's the
true
history.
story. I
This
mean,
is
they
the
don't negate, they don't negate that. They said that, yes, it's true. We kill everybody because,
it's the history of humankind who have been killing in the name of God, which is an insult to God,
yeah,
and gave bad name to all the religions. So much killing, excessive killing. But the incarnations is not their fault. These are the disciples of the incarnations, the way they don't understand the true message of the incarnations, and then we do
yeah,
crazy wars that we kill everybody. It's very strange. But
yeah.
anyway, back to the history of Portugal, if I may. Now I'm changing subject. I'm sorry.
No,
Uh,
that's okay.
this is related to some things Mataji said, which I find interesting. So at that time, the Christians were upset. They were being badly treated. They had enough. They revolted. They kicked the Arabs out of that place that nowadays is Portugal. They didn't know what to do with it. So every time they had a successful victory, a victory in a fight, they would build a church to the Virgin Mary. So they said, okay, do I go and dedicate this country to the Virgin Mary? So this is the country of the Virgin Mary. And they carried on, and had more fights, many years it took, and they managed to get rid of all the Arabs, and they dedicated the whole country to the Virgin Mary. She's the patron saint of Portugal, and that's how it started, you see. But then much, much later, many centuries after, the They came and invaded Portugal and turned Portugal into a colony of Spain. Now we don't like that also. This is bad. So for about 60 years, they were controlling Portugal. They invaded Portugal, the Spanish, and this is now Spain, they said. We don't like that. So we had a little fight with them. And it was hard to win against the Spanish because Spain is 5 times bigger than Portugal, and they were in charge. They had a big empire, and we didn't have there was no Portuguese army because we lost it. They occupied us,
Yeah.
and now how do we get rid of them? But with such few people to fight against the Spanish, the battle was won. But because the battle took place just before the feast of the Virgin Mary, they knew this is a sign that the Virgin Mary is on our side. So they won that battle. Okay. But then the Spanish came back again to take back Portugal again. And they had the army was at least 10 times bigger than the little insurrectionists. The Portuguese wanted to get their country back. And the Portuguese, with a very small number of people, went against the Spanish into Spain, didn't allow them to enter into Portugal. That battle was also the day before another feast of the Virgin Mary. And again, we won that battle, which we should not have won. And the Spanish gave up. They felt a kind of instinct that, all right, we lost this place. We cannot take this place by force. They can have it. So
Oh,
the country was dedicated again to the Virgin Mary because those two battles were won before the feast of the Virgin Mary. And so the king then said, only the Virgin Mary can protect our country. So in future, the Virgin Mary is the queen of this country. And
yeah.
my queen is the wife of the king. She will not wear a crown. No Portuguese queen will wear a crown. She'll put
Because,
a crown. She'll put a crown on the crown on the statue of the Virgin Mary. So the
yeah.
queen, gave a crown to the statue of the Virgin Mary. So this is the country of the Virgin Mary now, and
Uh,
she's the queen of the country. You know,
uh,
this is symbolic.
yeah.
So there was a Portuguese yogi born in Portugal, and he said, "Mother, one day we want to give you that crown. That
Yeah.
crown still exists." So that lady was the last queen that had the crown, but she gave it to the statue of the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
And he said he made some research. He found the crown. The crown is in the coffers of the state because it's a
Yeah.
treasure.
Yeah.
And now we want one day to give you that crown. And my mother said, all right, it's a very noble feeling. It's a good intention, but mother knows this is not possible, of course. But she said, I thank you for the good
Thank
feelings, the good intentions. So she accepted the good intention at least,
you.
although it's impossible to do because this belongs to the government, the crown
Of
from the
course.
old kings and old queens. It's a republic. Portugal is a republic,
I
and
know.
the crowns are in a vault. All those old crowns of the kings and queens, this is all locked in a vault, you
And
see.
are not displayed somewhere in a museum?
I don't know. I don't think so. They've been hidden because for a long time they didn't want people to go back to monarchy. This is a republic, so
I
let's not
know.
give too much hope because some people are monarchists. They want to bring back monarchy. So the government, we are Republican, so we don't give too much advertising to this to this type of thing.
You
So
are you are leaning towards monarchy or towards republic?
personally, I'm very Republican myself.
Okay.
For Portugal, I think now we are a republic.
Yeah.
But the past is dead, you see, because the past is dead. But I live in England, which is a monarchy. I have no problem with monarchy. I know Sri Rama was a king, Sri Krishna was a king. I'm not against monarchy,
Yeah.
but if I have to choose, I prefer because I was born in a republic, so
Yeah.
I identify with that.
There are my question. It's a little bit tricky because uh, I believe always when you put a question, you have to define very well the terms. So there are two sides of the discussion: the monarchy as a principle and the monarchy as a contemporary way of um, yeah, leading a country and the specific of the country as well. So, and the first direction also have two directions. Excuse me. First of all, the king, the notion of the kingship as was initial many thousand of years ago, and the principle of the kingdomship now, because what is now is completely different than what is original. The original of kingship was the link between the subject and God. The role of king was more than the one who lead the domestic
Armies.
the domestic problem of one country. Everything wrong who happened from bad crops to lack of rain and other stuff happens because the king do not have a good behavior and wasn't punished, but you lost the connection. So many times they kill the king because of that
Yes,
and
yes, that's
choose
true.
another one. Sometimes, like George Fraser write in his book, they kill the guy uh, after some terms, some years, just regardless, because they have to renew that link. They know the guy exhaust himself somehow, because being in that position, you cannot behave all the time. But anyway, our discussion goes too far.
We lost the thread, but it's an interesting thread.
Oh,
I
yeah.
read what you
Oh,
are saying. I read about that to do with the Bible, because in the Bible
yes.
there is something against King David. There's a story about King David that
Yes.
is not very nice about him. And then there's another account in the Bible where that the bad stuff is not mentioned. And some writers they say that there was a king that he was having a bad time with the crops and with everything and war. And people were starting to say that, this king should be perfect like King David.
Yes.
That's impossible. Nobody can be a perfect king like King David because King David was, according to Mother, is also Mother said is like the disciple principle. So it's an incarnation of the disciple principle. So that's a very great incarnation.
Yes.
William Blake was also an incarnation of the disciple principle,
Yes.
and Sri Mahavira, and so was King David. So what king can be like him? So apparently, that that was in trouble. He was being compared unfavorably to King David. He got his scribes to prepare an account that criticizes King David, that shows that he was also not perfect after all. He made a mistake, he fell in love with that woman, this and that. That story appeared. It was that king who commissioned that story to prove that, even King David was human. He also had a temptation, made a mistake or two, this and that. So that's a theory. And
Yeah.
I think being a king in those days was difficult because if things don't go well, they blame the king. So, so it's another way of saying the same you're saying. The king had to prove himself as a good connection with God, or else they blame him for it.
Very interesting. Just a second, because Delia told me a story which probably I read it, but it's very interesting and I forget the details. Delia? Yeah, sometimes she's here, sometimes she's not. She tell me about how King David was chosen to become king. And I will tell you briefly what I remember. I should know more details. She know better than me, but I don't know where she is hidden. Um, wha- uh, I forget the name of the prophet because that's important. So,
Ah, yes.
do
Yes, I
you
remember
remember the
this.
prophet who come to the father of David? Uh, was Joshua? I don't know. I don't want to
No,
say
no, not Joshua.
no, Joshua. Was a I
Um,
will remember, or I will ask Delia because she knows. The prophet come in the search of, but that's a story showing the greatness of the prophet,
Okay. Yes, yes,
also the greatness of David, but that's not
yes, yes.
that's not the point. The point is
Because that,
the
that was the
prophet.
last prophet. That prophet, I can't remember his name now,
Yes, we
but
will
that was
remember
that,
eventually.
that was that was the last prophet. You
Yes,
see, because after that he appointed Saul as the
yes,
king. And he
yes,
said, now you are going to suffer. You want a king? I give you a king, but now you have to suffer because
yes,
he's going to oppress you and give you heavy taxes and treat you
yeah,
badly
yeah,
and start many wars. And this all happened. And then after that, he had to appoint the King David again. You see, so at one point he appointed two kings. Now he said, okay, that king has gone bad. He went and appointed King David as well to be the real king.
yeah,
And King David, who is now the king, he cannot tell anyone that he's the king, otherwise the other king will kill him.
yes,
He's loyal to that king also. King David is actually loyal to that king still. So he's on the run because the other king, the bad king called Saul, he
yeah,
wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill King David, but he did not manage to. He did not succeed. In fact, he got an arrow during a battle. An arrow killed him, and that was it. There he went. And his son was loyal to King David, and he wanted to be a disciple of King David. So the son was even better than the father,
yeah,
and he recognized that King David is the real king. I
yeah,
don't want to succeed. I want you to be the king. Because usually it goes from father to son, but the son didn't even want to be the king. He
yeah.
knew that this is the real king
David.
because King David was the greatest, really.
But
Fantastic person.
the way how he was find it or choose it. So the prophet come knowing that he will find the new king in the house of the father of David, and he asked him about his sons. So the father said, the prophet said, I come to choose one to take out with me your one of your son who will become a king. Do you have a son or how many sons? Yes, I have. I have this and that and that. And they come one by one. And the prophet, no, it's not that one. Because obviously they start with the oldest one. And after that, we start with another one. There are about three or four who come. And the prophet said, no, 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 it's none of this. The father said, must be because that's my oldest son, so he have to be or whatever. He has his own uh, criteria, which obviously nothing. Yeah. Um, and in the end, the prophet, Delia, do you remember the name of the prophet who chose David? Sorry? Mai, nu, mai zi o dată. Simeon.
Yes, Samuel, that's it. In fact, William Blake made paintings of that, of
Yes.
Samuel, because that king, the bad king Saul, he was in the battle, he was in trouble, and by then the prophet had died. The prophet Samuel had
Yeah.
already died. So he said, I'm gonna wake him up, his spirit, and I'm gonna ask him who is gonna win the war. Help me to
Yeah.
win the war.
Yeah.
But what? But we are not supposed to talk to the dead people. This is something Mother has been teaching us also. One should never talk to the dead. But this king, he dared wake up the prophet in his sleep. And they called him. He got a witch. He had a special witch to help him. They called the prophet. The prophet Samuel got very upset. Who is disturbing me? Because he's already gone to heaven. So you called me for this? You want to know the outcome of this war? Here is the outcome. You are going to lose the war and you are going to die tomorrow of an arrow. And that's what happened. He got an arrow that killed him and he lost the war. And don't ever disturb a prophet again. And William Blake liked this episode so much that he painted it two times at least. There's two
Wow.
paintings of William Blake of the witch. The witch is there and the king is there disturbing the prophet Samuel in his sleep.
Yeah.
And I said, this is very sahaj because Mother has told us the same. You must not speak to the dead. When the dead are dead, they're dead. You don't speak to them.
Bye bye. Yeah.
There's no need to talk to the dead. So this was a thing to respect. A man, the prophet is dead. He's dead. Don't go and talk to him now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
on top, he went with a witch, which is like a medium to wake up the
Yeah.
dead soul. This is very wrong. And William Blake, he liked this story so much, he painted it twice. And now I couldn't remember the name of Samuel. But you know why? It's because I'm losing my memory,
Too
really. I'm
much
getting,
info, too much information. We're getting old, both of us. So
yes,
Samuel said, "No, no, no, none of this are there." And the father was so shocked and upset, and no, no, must be one of these. And the prophet said, "No, no, no, you should have another one. You don't have any other son?" "Yes, I have one, but it's very small," because David was a child by that time. Was a between child and teenage. "I have another one, but those one is with the goats and with the sheep somewhere. Come, bring it here." And obviously,
that's the one.
when he come, that's
Yeah.
the one. Everybody was shocked. How can this little kid become?
Yes, but
So
he was a adoptive son. You see, he was not a real son of that king. He
not a
was just
real.
an adoptive son.
Yes.
Because someone told him there's a boy in the desert. He's so brave that he fought with the lion and killed the lion. Well, the king heard that. Oh, I want to see that boy. And
Mhm,
there's another thing. That boy plays the harp, and when he plays the harp, it's divine. He's such a
mhm.
great, musician. It's like divine when he plays the harp. And the king had epilepsy. And when the king was suffering from
Yes.
epilepsy,
Yes.
if David as a boy, if he played the harp, that would soothe him down, good vibrations, you'd feel better. So the boy was started to live with the king, like adoptive son, but not a real son,
Not a
you
real.
know,
Yeah.
not a real son. So he could not inherit the kingdom, but he did. He got the kingdom all the same. He was chosen by God to get the kingdom.
Yeah. That's true. So we started from my name.
Yes, Boston, yes. We got lost.
We, we I love these divagations because all the time these divagations are bringing us a lot of. For example, I don't know too much about the history of Portugal. To my shame, I didn't know all these small details, which are quite important. Um, Getting rid of the Arabs much later than the Spaniards. I know you have few episode of fight with the Spaniards. When this happens, obviously after they kick out, probably 15th century, something like that, or
Yes,
like
16th century. In the
16th.
16th
Yeah.
century, we had to kick the Spanish out of Portugal also later. First
Yes.
we kicked the Arabs out, then we
Yes.
kicked the Spanish out, but the country had been dedicated to the Virgin Mary. So that's a protection. See, when
Yeah.
you fight with such a great patron saint, this is very important. So
Yeah.
later there was an apparition of the Virgin Mary in Portugal in the 19th century.
Yeah.
And Sri Mataji said, yes, it's true. I mean, that lady that appeared there in Portugal is actually the Sri Mahalakshmi, the Virgin Mary. She came and she appeared and she
Yeah.
had an important message for the country, which was a message of dedicate yourself to the Virgin Mary. After all, this is supposed to be the country of the Virgin Mary. You better do it, not just say
Yeah.
it. Practice it, do it. So she appeared with that message.
Yeah.
And she had to choose a place to appear. The whole country is dedicated to the Virgin Mary, and she chose to appear in a place called Fatima, which is the
Yeah.
which is the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad,
Yeah.
which means the Virgin understands the oneness because the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad is also a divine lady. So of all the places to choose, she chose a place called Fatima, which is a place in honor of
Yeah.
the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad. And there you are, because the Arabs left a lot of influence. So the name is there, the name of Fatima. That place was dedicated to Fatima. And
But
the Virgin Mary, of all places, chose to appear there, just to remind us of this great oneness between all religions. It's the same. All religions are the same. The
but
rest is politics. The rest is
yes,
politics.
absolutely. But uh, to praise the people of Portugal who choose to keep the name of the place as Fatima. In their wisdom, they recognize the fact that Fatima is a very important uh, spiritual being, and they keep the name because after they get rid of the Arabs, like in any restoration, everybody starts changing the name of
Erasing,
the street,
yes,
changing the name of the cities, changing everything,
yes,
trying to
yes,
forget the past. But this one still, because they realize it's something special, they realize the
yes,
importance of Shri Fatima, which we have to praise the fact that
yes.
yes, that
Wait, still today, you find ladies in Portugal. The name is Zara. Zara is another name of the lady. The lady Fatima had many names, and
yeah,
one of them is Zara.
yeah.
And still today in Portugal, there goes a girl. What's her name? Zara. How come? But she's not Muslim. She's Christian. Yes, but her name is Zara. It's a
but
traditional name.
but
It's the
something
name of Fatima.
yes, but something told me that Zara it's come from Sarah.
Could be. Could be. They are related
Yeah,
also.
so obviously it's an import from the Muslim to the
Christian world. Yes, yes.
from the Jewish, but we have to check this one. It's important. So Sarah, obviously, it's a
Jewish name. Yes.
it's a Jewish name. But when we talk about the Jewish, we have to be very careful because there are a lot of Semitic people in that area. Only the Jewish keep the religion, but there are many other Semitic people in the area, like there are Christian, like the uh, Armenians or other people in that east of Anatolia and even a little bit north. So only the Jewish keep the religion, but what's happened before they were come from the same
Good. Yes.
yeah
Yes.
Semitic people anyway.
Very true.
So um
The thing is, we have the same love for Christians, for Jews, for
yeah,
Muslims. We don't make any distinction. To us, it's our family, all of them. All of them.
sometimes there are little I'm talking about myself or ourselves. I include Delia here. There are a little bit of preferences, so we have the tendency to, because we were born in a Christian society, Christian families, everything. So even now in Romania, probably over 90% of the population still Christian Orthodox. And we keep the tradition, everything. But also the Judeo-Christian tradition. So from that perspective, we have um, a more understanding, a more um closeness to the Jewish.
True, you do, you do.
We
It's our
it's
tradition, yes.
it's by default. How should I put it? First
Yeah,
of all,
historic. It's an historic thing. It's historic.
historically speaking and religiously speaking, we have the Old Testament, which is part of our culture. We cannot get rid of that one. What's happened with the Muslims, as in your country, because our discussion about history, geography, and all these fights start from here. Our countries, not only the language is similar because we come from the same Latin roots, but also the history with the Arab and Muslim world, it's a little bit similar. The but your Arabs were different than our Arabs who conquer us. So we were conquered by the Ottoman Empire, which were completely different than the Maghrebian one. So the Ottoman Empire, long before conquer Constantinople, they conquer all the Balkan area. So all those countries, which today Bulgaria and former Yugoslavia, become part of the Ottoman Empire. The Constantinople was just a little island, slowly, slowly become smaller and smaller, but still there until we know 1460, 63, 53. That's Delia who told me. Um, so obviously, Romania wasn't as a state by then, was few principats, was an easy target for the Muslims, for the Ottomans, but they don't establish so-called Pashaluk there. They don't establish, um, they don't incorporate it in their empire. They just send people to uh, take care of the country, and they ask for taxes, very heavy taxes, in products, in money, and in people, usually children, women, children, things like that, for hundreds of years. But we never have a mosque in our country, except a little region in the south, which become ours after the First War, which that one was part of the Ottoman Empire because of was south of Danube. But in the meantime, become Romanian when our country became a kingdom. Um, that's happened in 1858. So, but slowly, slowly, this piece of land, which was a Muslim one, become Romanian. And it's the only place where you can find mosques in our country. But
Yeah.
the influence of the Muslim, of the Ottomans, was huge, even that wasn't a part of the Ottoman Empire.
They,
So
they,
we have,
they always leave a lot of culture behind because they were
yes,
very cultured people they were. So they
yeah,
lived the language, culture,
yeah,
lots of things, medicine, science.
yes.
They were very advanced, in those days they were a very advanced culture.
Yes, they. I remember.
Architecture was very good. They were very good at architecture, castles, making castles, iron weapons, They were hard people to defeat because they knew the technology of war.
Yeah,
They were
uh, we
disciplined
don't
and
benefit for of those stuff because we were not incorporated in the
yes,
empire. They only want the taxes from us, money,
right.
products, all the grains, everything. We cannot say sell the grains in some other parts. We have to give them as taxes or sell to them with a fixed price, which was very low. So some of Romanian blame a lot the uh, the poorness of our country, the undevelopment of our country on those many hundreds of years, about 300 of years under the Ottoman. Wasn't a,
Exploitation.
wasn't an occupation, was an exploitation. But again,
Exploitation.
sounds a little bit activist, those explanation. I'm not agree with them 100%, but some of the, I'm talking more about their cultural influence, which was quite big in our country. And probably now we'll come with the name of the Boston, because that was the 1 hour ago.
Yes.
The start of our discussion. I love it. Uh, So that's my name. And when I discovered it, I never been ashamed with my name, except when I was very young and people laugh on me. I mean, the kids laugh a little bit on me, but I never took it very, very hard. Not knowing the real meaning of my name um, wasn't good. But when I find it, not long ago, probably under 15 years ago, when I find it, I was wow. And it's a Persian poet. I'm sure you heard about it. Maybe not everybody heard about it. It's a big one. Not Rumi. Rumi, it's another maybe uh, well known. This one, it's called Saadi. So yeah, it's well known. And he write a book of poems called Bostan. That's the name of the little book of poems, which in translation is because the garden become
Yes.
more as an ordinary garden, become in his interpretation, in many Iranian Persian interpretation, paradise, the garden of
Yes.
paradise.
Garden
So
of Eden. Yes. Yes.
yes, Garden of Eden. So when I heard about this one, so um, everything it's here, uh, trying to explain more for myself or maybe for my children, this kind of stuff. Another the third name of me. We don't have the tradition with the middle name in Romania, which is shocking for the British people. Oh, you don't have a middle name, like you don't have a leg or oh, you don't have a middle name. Oh, what a big drama. That's our tradition. We need only one name. It's enough. I mean, some people have it, but it's not well spread. But sometimes we have nicknames. So uh, one day, quite soon after I married with Delia, after a few years, uh, we never get real sick, but sometimes we have some cold or this kind of stuff, which can last few weeks. And I was so miserable with my nose and eyes running. And so I was so miserable. And Delia come to me with a tea or something and said, oh, the poor folks get hurt. Um, Knowing, at least in our tradition, that the fox is not the one who get sick very easily. So when you said, it's a bit ironic, you know? The point is, since there, she started calling me Fox.
But that's another name now. We are
Yes,
talking of another name. Yes.
yes. So, of course, only her call me Fox or Foxy as a, yeah, uh, nice things to do. And it's the only one I accept it because sometimes I feel like a fox because I like to um, that's my only way of being of using diplomacy because usually I'm very direct and I'm very uh, keen to resolve problems. I try to keep in my hand everything, but when sometimes those kind of approaches doesn't work, maybe I become a little bit more malleable or more approachable, and I sometimes I feel like a fox. So yeah, I was talking about this kind of stuff here, um, telling
Look, look, look,
stories about my family, and yeah,
I would like to tell you a few more things about names because
please, please.
Sarsipi told me something interesting. Sarsipi Srivastava, the husband of Sri Mataji. I think because there was instability in India somehow, and he became an orphan at very young age, the Sarsipi. So when it came to registering his name, the time had passed already. If you don't register the name of the child within a certain period, and the English were in charge in those days, it was British Empire, you have to pay a fine, a big fine, because you did not register the name of the child when you should. And the longer you leave it, the longer the bigger the fine.
Mhm.
So by the time they're going to register him now, his parents both died. Both his parents died. He has been going from relative to relative. Nobody remembered to register his name. Now he's already 4 years old. Soon we have to take him to school. He's not been registered. By then it will be 6 years fine instead of 1 year. So let's register him. They registered him. Nobody remembered when he was born. So they didn't know his birthday. His relatives, because he went from relative to as an orphan, his relatives did not know the day, even the day when he was born, because the parents died. No one remembers, you see. This is periods of instability in India. And so they gave the wrong date. They made up a date that's his birthday, that is on his passport, but it's not his birthday. And the year they made it wrong also, so they made him 4 years younger. That way, there's no fine to pay. So, in actual fact, CCP is actually 4 years older than his passport says, or his documents. And
Yeah.
his date of birth is not the real date of birth. That's the official date of birth, let's say, because they did not know. So, I think there was a time Srimataji said that CCP, because mother has divine knowledge,
Yeah.
has the same birthday as mother. So it's also from the same date of birth. Not the same year, but the same. Mother was born on the 21st of March, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mother, so mother said, when you said
1923. Yeah.
the year, that's the year.
Yeah.
But the day of the birthday is the 21st of March.
Yes.
So there was times mother was having her birthday, and she said, "Let's also celebrate the birthday of Sir CP, which happens to be on the same day." Because since he did not know his birthday, mother said, "Your birthday is like mine, it's 21st of March." Mother told him. So
Wow.
mother occasionally mother celebrated with us, Saj Yogis,
Yeah.
her birthday and the birthday of CCP on the same day. But CCP could have an extra birthday if he wants, which is the official one they put on his documents. But they gave him the wrong age. He was actually 4 years older than his real date, you see. And then I have a neighbor who is Indian also, and he's older than me, but he's a friend, he's a neighbor, and he's Indian. And one day he tells me, Luis, my documents they tell you this is my age, but actually I'm 4 years older than what my papers tell you. Oh, really? Why? Well, my parents were very slow at registering the birth. They did not want to pay the fines to the British, and so they lied about the year. And that way, I'm actually 4 years older than the papers say. At school, there was many children like him. This friend, my neighbor, is telling me is from Sikh religion, Sikhism. He says the school he was going to in India, there was lots of children like him. They have been given the wrong year, so the teachers knew his real age is the real age because what class you put him in the right class for his age. Forget about the year on the passport. That's not real.
Yeah.
The reality is what is the age is. So at school,
Yeah.
put him in the right year according to his real age. They
Yeah.
all knew that the papers were wrong.
Yeah.
There were many like him, and CCP the same. CCP also had the wrong year on his official documents. You cannot change those things. Once it's done, it's done. You see,
Yeah.
very hard to change
How you
afterward.
know? You know this story from Shimataji or from
From
Sir?
CCP, from
From Sir.
CCP, he
Okay.
told me that
He
in
told you.
actual
Yeah.
They told us that in actual fact he's 4 years older than whatever officially says on his documents.
Yeah.
And as for the date of birth, he did not know. Nobody knew in his family when he was born.
Yeah.
So he also does not know. But at least Sri Mataji said, okay, your date of birth is like mine, is the same, 21st of March. So mother used to say that is an Aries, because if you don't know the date of birth, then you also don't know the sign. What is your horoscope? If you don't know your date of birth, how do you do your horoscope? But mother
Uh,
said it's a
I
bit
was
hard to.
I was thinking about Shimataji's choosing that date. There are two things here. One, it's very, very possible to be true.
Yes, because mother says in temperament is an Aries, you see, and mother is also on the cusp of Aries and Pisces, isn't it?
But
But by temperament is an Aries. You see,
yes,
when I first met mother, mother asked me, "So what is your sign?" And I said Aries. Oh, and mother said, "Another one. We have so many Aries." Oh, really? You have many? Yes, yes. Mother, my husband is also an Aries. So this is my meeting mother initially, she tells me that her husband is an Aries.
wow.
And I'm also an Aries, and you have lots of them in Sahaj. It's very common. To be an Aries in Sahaj is very common. So her husband is also an Aries. That implies that mother knows when he was born. So CP did
But
not know, but mother
but
knows he was born.
but for some, just for the exercise of the discussion, if the date of birth of Sir CP is different than 20,
Official on paper
no,
says.
21st of March, as Shimataji said, the fact that Shimataji choose that date to tell us, because he's not telling to Sir CP, this information basically she gives to us. Sir CP doesn't need that information to be public. She
But
made,
no, it was
I know,
public because
I know, but
during some celebrations
she
there
made
was a cake, there was a cake for mother, which was the same cake for
for
CCP. So you
Sir
would
CP.
do
That's my
so.
point. That's my
But this
point.
is the question I asked. I asked him, how come you and Sri Mataji both were born on the same day? What a
Yeah, yeah,
coincidence!
yeah.
And then Sir CP told me the whole story. Look, it's not that simple. Nobody knows the date when I was born.
Yeah.
Not even my parents died. I was an orphan. My relatives didn't remember. So nobody knows. But Shimataji, she said that my birthday, if I want, is the same. So
But
that makes
my point is that Shimataji do that on purpose.
yes, she knows. She
You
knows a
know,
lot.
I
Don't
mean,
know. Yes.
even let's, for the sake of argumentation, the date is not the 21st. The fact that she said that have a big point in the
Yes.
relation, in the her relation with Sir CP.
The
That's why I
oneness.
said,
Yes.
that's why I
Yes.
said the relation cannot be changed. That's why I said she said that for us to emphasize once more the link between her and Sir CP.
Is that a great oneness? Yes.
That's
Tremendous one. Yes.
my point.
Yes. I
The
accept that.
point,
I think the same. Yes.
it's even that point she want to make it. It's even more important, uh, comparing with the fact that can be a coincidence. Because if it's a coincidence, that's a astral, uh, cosmical uh, event. But Shimataji, let's say, make it up. She's done that on purpose for us to bring us uh, another clue, and for us to see the connection between them, which
Yes.
which
It's
that
special.
is
Very special.
most
Yes.
important. So I learned
Yes.
two things from that little story.
I got distracted. I wanted to tell you about my grandmother because
Yeah.
Shimataji mentioned my grandmother, and
Okay.
you said something that reminded me. We said, some people don't have a middle name, don't have anything. Well, my granny, according to Shrimataji, was the most important person in our family, you see.
Okay.
Shrimataji gave us a big tell-off because we brought the whole family to see Shrimataji. We did not bring my grandmother because my grandmother did not know how to read and write, you see. My grandmother did not know, did not want even to learn how to read and write. She could have learned, but she refused. She did not want to. And yet she was the most intelligent person in the family, you see. I'll tell you a bit more about her. But the thing is that this is to do with the names. You mentioned the names.
Yeah, yeah,
So the whole family came to see Sri Mataji, and Sri Mataji looked at us. Why did you not bring me the most important person? And my aunt knew straight away. Do you mean our mother, our grandmother? For me, it's a grandmother, but for my aunt, it's her mother, you see.
yeah,
Yes, who else? Who else? The most important person. We should have brought her, you see. And my aunt said, we didn't bring her because she can't read and write. We thought she might not be able to understand what your teachings. And mother said, never. She'll understand them better than you, much better than you all. She's she
wow,
would have understood everything and better than you. You don't need to know how to read and write. No, why was my granny such a special lady? I'll tell you what she did was a kind of heroic thing. They were 13. My granny was the eldest out of 13 brothers and sisters, you see. And suddenly, her mother died after giving birth. She gave birth to a little daughter, and then she passed away. So my granny by then was 18 when her youngest daughter was born, and then her mom died, you see. And then their father died as well. So suddenly, my granny is in charge of the family at the age of 18, and she has a little baby just a few days old. And at this point, my granny made a vow. I will not marry until I married all my sisters. First I marry them, and then I marry them. Then I marry myself.
yeah,
That means she would have to marry at the age of about 35 or more, because you see, she has
yeah,
to wait until that baby becomes
yeah,
18.
yeah,
She's already 18. 18 and 18 makes 36. She'll be she's gonna get married very, very old, which is almost impossible in those days. To marry at that age was very difficult. Nobody wanted a wife so old, you see.
yeah,
But she was special because of that vow. She educated all the children, looked after them like a mother and father in one. She was stronger than her brothers. If they had to go in the fields to cut the wheat, she was faster and stronger than even the brothers. Everybody had a lot of respect for her, and she became the village chief. In that whole village, she was the chief. This is the respect they give for a woman like that. And
wow,
why they loved her and respected her is because she treated everybody with love, like family. Like she treated her family, her sisters, and made that vow. I will not marry until I married my youngest sister. So when she became 18, she arranged the marriage for her sister. Now at last she can marry. Now my granny had a problem. And now I'll tell you, this was a small error. When they registered their birth, they forgot to give her a surname. So she only had the first name, Maria de Conceição, no surname. Can you imagine? Some people don't have a middle name. My granny did not have a surname, just the first name, Maria de Conceição. Maria de Conceição, this is the name of the Virgin Mary, but no surname. And
but
guess what?
just a second for me to understand the meaning of the name. Can you repeat?
Maria Maria de Conceição. This is the name, the Conception, Mary of the Conception, the
So
Virgin Mary,
how you
the
said in Portuguese again?
Conceição.
Conce,
Conceição Conceição
Conceição.
is a very
Conceição.
fa is a very famous name of the Virgin Mary. You see,
Yeah.
you have statues to the Virgin of the
I want
Conception,
to, yeah, I want to make sure the how you pronounce
Conceição. It's a
Conceição.
very it's a very well-known name in Christian countries,
Yeah,
Conception, because
Conceição.
that's the woman who conceived God. She
Yeah,
gave birth to God. She
yeah,
conceived.
yeah,
She conceived the Son of God was
yeah,
conceived by her. So she's called Mary of the Conception,
yeah,
meaning Mary, the one who gave conception to God, the
yeah.
Son of God.
But no,
So,
no
no
family
surname,
name, no
no
family.
surname. And then she married a cousin who had the same surname. So she became Maria de Conceição Garrido. So she got the name. If she had been called Maria de Conceição Garrido at birth, when she married her husband, she would have become Maria de Conceição Garrido Garrido, double Garrido, square. And that is not so nice to have a surname that's square. Her name, family name already was Garrido. She married a man whose name was Garrido because it was a close cousin, you see.
Yeah,
Instead of having a double name, Garrid, like some people have, that's terrible. People know straight away. Oh, she married a man in the family, you see.
yeah,
Because they forgot to give her a surname when she married her husband. Now she has a surname. Problem solved, you know. It's a joke, this.
Oh
Never.
man,
So
yeah.
that reminded me of Srimataji saying she was the most important person in the family and the most intelligent one. I'll tell you something about her. She had a shop as well, but she used to be a shepherd. For many years, she was a shepherd. Then she had a shop, and she did not know how to read and write, but she had a method of doing mathematics in her head by
Hmm.
which she knew how to calculate the price of things. Like when you sell cloth, you need to know the yards and make the calculations. This is so much per meter, centimeters, etc. She did not know how to read and write. How she's going to do those calculations? Because of her intelligence, she knew how to do it perfectly. And if you are selling cereals or whatever, you have to weigh them and then make the calculations of the price, everything. She could do it all the mathematics like this in her head, with no pen, no paper, nothing. And the people sometimes will go and do it with the pen and with the pencil and the paper. They will get it wrong. Even with pencil and paper, most people couldn't do it. If
Yeah,
they wanted some calculation in that village, people who know how to read and write with a pencil, they would ask, no, that's not the right number. This is the right number. All right, let me check again. Those who knew how to write, oh, she's right. She got it right. Yes, they were doing it wrong. She's right. If she said it's wrong, it's wrong. So she taught my father how to do all these calculations from very young age in his head without any paper. You
hmm,
know, and my father became so good at numbers, he became an accountant. You know, and as an accountant, my father could calculate everything in his head, with no problem. He was like a calculator machine. What he learned from his mother was so advanced that when he became an accountant, his colleagues, how can you do these calculations in the head? Well,
wow.
I learned from my mom. You learned from your mom, but she couldn't read and write. How did she teach you that? She just knew, So she was a special person without knowing. She knew,
Yeah,
and she taught her son. He became a special accountant that could do calculations that his colleagues they couldn't do it. He did not need a machine. He could do it all in the head. And this is how he met my mom. Now, my mom was also very great at mathematics. She was raised in a convent, my mom. But sometimes you see they had official book for mathematics, and the nuns who were teaching, they were not very advanced. Sometimes they could not do the problem, you see. They would look at the solutions and they would say, this solution in this number and that page, all these solutions are wrong, cross them out. And my mom would say, excuse me, sir, the solution is correct. I'll show you how to do the problem and arrive at that solution. It's okay, show us, She was 8 years, 9 years old. She got the blackboard. Okay, this problem you do like this, and you arrive at the solution that is in the book. That's correct. The book is right. This is the way to do it. And she was 8 or 9 years old, and the teachers were looking at her. I mean, what is this woman? The way she is so good in mathematics. She was
wow.
born like that. And then one day she was going to the beach, for traveling, and my father was also there. He came for a visit for that beach. My father wanted to travel, so he went to that beach, and I think he went to buy some cigarettes. And they found them very expensive by the beach because he lived in the interior of the country where things are very cheap. But by the beach, everything is double the price because the shops
Yeah,
they can only sell during the summer when the beach is in operation. So the shops have to be closed the whole year except during the season, what they call the summer season.
yeah.
So the prices are absurd. So my father went to buy some cigarettes and matches, and he saw the price is ridiculous. So we saw a lady passing, which was my mom, and said, is there a better shop, because the prices here are very wrong. So my mom said, how wrong are the prices? And my dad did the calculations. Well, it's a 17 and a half markup. 17 and a half markup. My mom says to him, okay, so what is the price in your village? This price. What's the price here? This price. My mom picked up, because by then my mom was a teacher. She picked up a pencil and a paper and she calculated. You are right. It's exactly 17.5% markup. How did you do that in your head? I do it like this. I don't even think about it. I just know. And so they got married, because they both like mathematics and because of that
Wow,
small, because of
wow.
that small incident. in the end, they started talking. My dad, my mom was surprised. This man can do these numbers in the head like this. She had to use a pen and paper, and she was good at mathematics, but she needed a pencil, a pencil and a pen. He
That's the
could do it
first time. That's the first time when I heard about starting a romantic
with
relation
mathematics. Yes,
on the beach,
yes.
on the beach about the mathematics and the prices of the cigarette.
Cigarettes and the matches as well. The whole
Yeah,
thing. The price
obviously.
was it
You
was
need,
the
you
joint
need,
price of the two together.
yeah, you need matches, obviously. Wow, that's fantastic. Um, um, we from my perspective, I don't know yours, but seeing you laughing and enjoy it, I believe you will join me in saying that was a good discussion. Uh,
Daniel, I wanted to finish. There
yes,
was something I wanted to say that mother said. Mother told me something that's
please,
related to
please.
just very, very quick,
Yeah,
because this is also related to my mom.
yes,
She once told me that she did not finish the because Shrimataji went to study medicine, and then she did not finish because she had to get married, you see, and she was getting very, very old to get married. According to Indian tradition, by the time Shrimataji married, she was considered not young enough. So it was dangerous to delay a marriage. Should not be delayed too much because she told me she was rusticated, you see, because she rebelled against the government. She was talking against the British.
yeah,
She was punished, and the punishment was what used to be called rustication. Means like the Romans used to do. If a person misbehaves, he's rusticated. They send him to the countryside. He cannot be part of politics. So Sri Mataji, because she did the political
yeah,
misdemeanor. She was criticizing the government, the British. She was rusticated, means she cannot attend school. So Shrimataji was not allowed to attend school for 4 or 5 years. So by the time she went to university as a woman, she's already a bit old because she lost so many years as a punishment of rustication.
yeah,
So and for that reason, she was not able to finish the degree of medicine because she had better get married now. The parents said, "Oh no, no, wait! You are
yeah,
getting too old now." So she said she lost so many precious years.
yeah,
By that time was very precious because for a woman, if you lose so much time, then you cannot wait too long to get married. That was the tradition. So when my granny delayed the marriage, she was doing like mother a big self-punishment. You see,
yeah.
Mataji was punished for doing the right thing by being a patriot. And my granny made that vow that I will not marry until I married. All my sisters have to be married first, and then only I get married. So Sri Mataji complained of the same. She lost so many precious years with that rustication.
Yeah,
And for a woman, that is a big problem.
yeah.
You see, because traditionally they must marry at a young age. So that was the bit I wanted to share. That last bit that mother said. How sad it was. She lost so many precious years like that in rustication. She suffered with that.
Do you like the um, South American literature? These guys, the writers, Ernesto Sabato, Marquez, these
I
people.
don't know them. No, I don't know them. I'm not very knowledgeable in literature.
Okay,
I'm a I'm a slow reader. When people ask me, how come you're writing books? I'm only writing books nowadays because mother told me to write books. But if you ask me, my knowledge of literature is very poor. I'm a very slow reader. I always told mother I cannot write it. I don't know how to do it. But mother had a different opinion and she was proved right. Even a person like me can write books after Saj Yoga, thanks to Saj Yoga. But if you looked at me without Saj Yoga, I could not have written anything. But Sri Mataji said I can write, so well, I can write. So I've
the
written a
reason,
few.
the reason I'm asking you is because some of your stories are uh, looks like are taken from some of these novels, um,
which I have not read
which you
because I
have
don't,
not
I don't,
read.
I
But
don't, I don't read.
it's not about reading. It's about what it's inside of you, because all the atmosphere from those novels, um, the most known guy is Marquez, Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Obviously, there are Spanish, not Portuguese. There are few others. Losa, there are few others. It's happened to know because they were very popular in communist Romanian, the South American literature, not necessarily the Spanish. I mean Spanish language, but those guys
Latin America, yes,
come
because
from
they
Latin.
are they were revolutionaries. Those writers.
Yes, but
They were in favor of communism
I
and
know,
revolution.
and that's why they are translated to the
Yes,
communist.
exactly,
That's one
exactly.
reason. Like the French,
But in
or
my country, we were not allowed to read those things because
so that's
our government, that
exactly
was it.
opposite. But
Our government, our government was anti-communist
I know.
when I
But
was growing up. So those books were not allowed. They were on the
oh, okay.
prohibited list. They were prohibited to read. If you read them, you go to jail. You know,
Interesting, interesting. The point is, apart from their communist views, those views and this activism do not make it in the books. Those books are quite, I find it stupid
poetic. They are
to be,
poetic. Yes.
yes, very poetic, very, with a very fantastic touch. It's a different world. It's again a subject of fantasy, which we enjoy it very much. Delia doesn't like it too much, but I enjoy it. So I remember I read it very much in my young age. So and then what you told me, some of the atmosphere you told me about, I visualize it with your father and mother on the beach, with your grandmother with a pledge of not marrying, even that have a touch of Bhishma, who from Mahabharata, who have a pledge not marrying at all. So all this create a very interesting atmosphere. So my first thought was those those novels, sorry, those literature. That's why I'm asking. But must be in the fabric of the Iberic people, and
Maybe. Maybe.
obviously those uh, characteristic goes to South America. There was a mixture, another mixture, and yeah. Um, Luis Garrido,
Yes.
Luis Garrido. That's your name, Garrido.
Yeah, Garrido. Garrido.
Yeah. Um, I told you that we have the common roots with our languages. The pronunciation is a little bit different. With your permission, we will stop not only the recording,
Absolutely.
but our meeting today. We will still talk a little bit about the next meeting, but for the moment, I suggest to stop that
Absolutely. Absolutely.
recording. Thanking you for your time. We never know if this recording will see the light of online, but
We enjoyed ourselves at least.
we don't know. We don't know. Thank you again, Luis.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel.
Goodbye for the time. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji.